Yeah.
Showtime.
Yeah, that's it, Frank. Showtime. We are live on the Truman Show. Yeah.
Yes.
Truman, boom them up with the truth. Yeah. So tonight, Frank, we're starting something new. It's new. It's a continuum of what we were doing before the PT's book.
Yes.
But now we're going to take his website, and on his website, there's like hundreds of plog that we haven't touched with the books. So it's going to be interesting to reason with this and not so. I don't like the word analyze. I was going to say analyze. That's such a stupid word. Analyze.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to,
just reason on it, right? I mean, yeah. It's always interesting to put attention on what P is sharing. It's really amazing.
So we're gonna start this with Babylon, the communication meltdown. Yeah, that's very, very on point.
Yes.
So I'll let you do the English. I'll do the French, and then, as usual, then we exchange our perspective, thoughts, feelings, everything, bro.
Yeah. All right. This one is it's cool. He does a little wordplay with the way he spells the title. So it's Babylon, Babbleon, the foundations of Babylon, Babylon. Babylon, the foundation of Babylon. Babylon, the foundation of Babylon, communication meltdown. Never have so many words been used to mean so little. Newspapers, magazines, novels, TV shows, parties, conferences, bar talk, hanging out talk, girl talk, guy talk, interviews, celebrities, ...
Babylon, yeah, the foundation of Babylon, the communication meltdown. En français, I forgot to translate the title, but fondation de communication erronée, je dirais. Quelque chose comme ça. Anyway, not a big deal. Babylon communication meltdown. Here, same thing.
Yes.
We're going to pretend it's French. So, jamais autant de mots n'ont été utilisés pour dire aussi peu de sens dans les journaux, les magazines, les romans, les émissions de télévision, les fêtes, les conférences, les conversations de bar, les discussions entre amis, les conversations entre filles, les conversations entre garçons, les interviews, les célébrités, etc., etc., etc. Now we're going to extend on what is going on with the Babylon. And it's really something you can observe so easily. All people do is freaking talk. They babble freaking nonsense. And most of the place you're going to go, most of the people you're going to encounter, they're going to babble nonsense. Like, really, talk, like they drive their car, they're in a rush to go nowhere with their car on the road because they're always pushing on in your ass and stuff. They're in a rush, but same thing with the mouth. They're very much in a rush to talk and to have always a word in, when they listen very little. So people should listen more than they talk, but the brain is so busy and thinks he knows it all that the babble is on, man, like never before. And it's worse than ever, I think, especially because we have the possibility to observe it very easily with internet, with all kinds of magazines and TVs and stuff. For sure, if you live on a farm and you don't have no TV, you don't have contact with the exterior world so much, you might not realize all this, but it's very easy to see once you dive deep in this world that all they do is babble nonsense, bro. And then there's no, because really sometimes I wonder even why myself I'm talking. Like I prefer be silent sometimes than just babble freaking nonsense or have not. If you have nothing good to say, shut your mouth. Don't say nothing at all.
Right.
Simple. But
Yeah.
people have so much to say, so much things to say. Bob had a song. People have so much things to say. This is the thing in Babylon. And I'm glad that I came across that plug because it really made sense for me and light up some light even more about Babylon because I've never really seen it as Babel on.
Yeah. Right.
I've never really thought about it. So when I seen it, I'm like, yeah, it is the Babylon. And
Hmm.
also with the Bible, it's
Right.
not far from Babel.
Right.
That's where they babble all kinds of stuff too in the Bible.
Yeah.
So I think it's very evident that yeah, people are babbling, babbling, babbling. And they nothing like it's not like you're gonna change the world with your talk. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
so, if you have nothing good to say, nothing that can make another person's life better or more enlightened or more motivated or whatever, maybe you should just shut your mouth. And
Yeah.
I'm starting to tell that to myself a lot. Instead of arguing with people, instead of babbling or raging or whatever, why don't I just shut my mouth? Shush them out. You know,
Mhm.
I'm trying to do it more and more myself because people will trigger you to babble also. There are
Oh
people that
yeah.
come in your life just to trigger you, and your children are a lot like that. They will trigger the babble because they do a lot of
Yeah.
babble themselves. So me, I know I have children that are adults, and sometimes they just do that. They trigger my babble. Then I go on and I start nagging about all kinds of shit that I shouldn't even nag about. I should be focusing on something else. But because they spark my babble, now I'm gone. So
Right.
I should not let it get to myself, definitely. But I'm in the midst of working on myself also,
Hmm.
becoming a better person. So for sure. But I realize that I babble a lot and I should maybe babble less. So that's my point. But tell me, Frank, about the Babylon situation.
Yes. Yes. Totally. Well, this Plog brings up a lot of cool things. Definitely, PT makes a beautiful point here. You know, uh, when he's saying this, never have so many words been used to mean so little. Like just that phrase and that statement is, it really packs a punch because that is so true in terms of when you get down to like what are people talking about. There's all sorts of talk shows and programs and um, podcasts and this and that. That it just kind of is words about the circus that's going on out there. But are they actually getting to anything meaningful, really? Are they getting to anything that's going to be solution oriented for their own selves or for the world? And we're in the midst of a circus tent on fire, the way
Oh,
that the
yeah,
world
big time.
is right now. And yeah, like like PT says here, all of these different venues or avenues of talking, newspapers, magazines, novels, TV shows. But is anybody actually talking about, I, I mean, and there may be, little sparks of it here and there, because there are some places where
Yeah, yeah.
truth is starting to come out. Awakening is starting to happen. But if you look at the majority of everything, we want the algorithm to change. We want the the thing would be much better if we had all of these outlets actually focusing on speaking and expressing the truth. And one of the things, like I've been sharing with some students recently of LotusOcean, is the importance of speech and its importance as a something that we as humans do. It is what separates us from these other species that we live on Earth with. All of the different animal kingdoms, the humans are able to express themselves and accentuate things and articulate things in ways in which these other animal tribes don't. And, we can't exactly talk with them, so we don't know what they're saying. So maybe they're saying similar things that we're saying. We don't know. But as far as we know, we're able to really, especially with the way that we speak, we can really transform ourselves through our speech. It is a very powerful, thing that we can utilize. And that's why the Vedic antiquity emphasizes so much importance on mantric repetition, repeating pure principles, repeating affirmations for our well-being. I want to be disciplined to evolve myself. I want more intelligence. I want to be more connected with divine. I mean, we can be repeating things like this, and it actually starts to sink into our being. It starts to sink into our consciousness, so that as we navigate our life, we become more aware of the actions that we take, and so that we can take actions that are going to be more harmonious, more in alignment with, a positive way of living, positive lifestyle. We're trying to reduce any type of unnecessary destructive behaviors or actions. We want to be peaceful beings. We want to, vibe up like love and all these positive qualities and attributes, because that is when we start to cultivate or rise up with that, then we're actually preparing ourselves for a higher existence. And that is, we're starting to pave the road on the stairway to heaven, basically, when we are starting to vibrate with more consciousness, with more respect for nature, with more respect for divine, with an intention that we want to connect with divine. We want to do something that's of service. And so how can we live a peaceful, positive life out here? And that is not to go and just yap about things that, keep us distracted, because what are all these things? There's distractions, so many of them. And, you turn on the sports channel and you see like the highlight reel, and people do amazing acrobatic things, but, with their sport that they're in, or with the music they play or whatever. But in the end, are those things actually getting them closer to divine? Now people can use their talents to also glorify divine and pay homage to nature and the elements and stuff like that, but it's not very often that we see that happening. And just to touch on these this whole bit of Babel, and you have mentioned that even the Bible, they have that story about the Tower of Babel, in which they were trying to build a tower to heaven, and then divine did a thing where it was it clicked and it changed everybody's language, so nobody can understand each other anymore. Now, I don't know what that could just be a story that was told, but it does relate to some Vedic things in which beings either from this realm or other realms try to make their way to higher realms without actually being prepared, without actually doing the work that it takes to earn your way to higher realms. Not just, I'm going to build a machine that's going to take me up there. No, you actually have to transform yourself as the inner alchemy. You have to prepare yourself for a higher kingdom to actually be able to be there and exist there sustainably. So you're not going to go up and, offend higher beings. And, this is all, just kind of like a how we want to think about what kind of life are we making here. We want to start to cultivate and embody positive qualities, positive traits, and speak things that are going to be positive and contributing to our evolution, so that we're getting closer. We want to rise. We want to go up, and we don't want to, because the whole Babylon just makes me think of just spinning your wheels. You're not going anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels, and if you spin your wheels enough, you actually start to sink and you start to go down. That's what happens in your car when you get stuck and the wheels are spinning, and slowly it's going down and down and down. So it's
okay. I took a couple notes while you were talking, and people before they babble so much about all kinds of nonsense, they should realize that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think people really realize that, and that's why they go on and babble all kinds of stuff. And they also have no clue what they talk about. Like it's good to babble if you know what you're talking about, but most people have absolutely no clue. They will talk to you about protein, about gluten, about all this, that, but they have no clue what it is. Like it's
Right.
just babbling to repeat some parroting some stuff they heard. And
Mm-hmm.
like even me, I don't know what the heck is a protein. Like I would have to study the whole thing, and
Right.
like
Right.
I can talk about all kinds of stuff. Doesn't necessarily signify I know what I'm talking about, but people pretend to know what they're talking about, and then the babble goes on. Definitely, you
Yeah.
were talking about the Tower of Babel.
Mhm.
Okay, the Tower of Babel was crooked.
Right.
Aren't people talking sidey? Like, or PT said
Right.
that people talk on the side of the mouth. Is
Yeah.
that why that Babylon tower was crooked? Because I always wonder why we see that tower crooked everywhere, but now it makes sense. People are
Right.
talking from the side of the mouth, no centering. So
Right.
of course, the very representation of the Babylon will be
Mm.
crooked. Makes sense now.
Right.
I
Right.
always wondered. I think I made sense of that. And there's a direct effect to speaking positivity. If
Mm-hmm.
people don't think it's true, that's cause and effect. Definitely, if you cannot go, you cannot have an effect without a cause. So definitely, if you speak positivity, positive stuff will come to you. So
Mm-hmm.
just experience babbling positive stuff instead of pretending that you know everything and stuff, and just focus on the real stuff that the facts, factual facts. I think we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about that in many episodes with PT, how to stick to factual facts, but people don't really stick to reality. They prefer the fiction. So definitely there's going to be a babble on when you like fiction because that's the direct effect of and it's not calm. Also, you said you should seek for peace of mind and stuff, but when you
Yeah.
talk all the time, that's not peace. That's not calm. That's nonsense chatter. Most of the time people talk, and
Yeah.
to go where exactly? Like I'm very curious what people, not what they're talking about, but where they think they're gonna go with all that nonsense talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, so no, definitely, but that Babel Tower, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
Do you think it makes sense why it's crooked like this? That it's
Yeah. I mean, it's
Or do you have another perspective as why would the tower be represented as crooked, like on the side?
right. I would really need to kind of probably look back more too into the whole story of it. I just
Yeah, yeah,
remembered little bits of it. And then I was like, oh wait, that does kind of relate,
yeah,
to, you know, actually trying to get somewhere, but you're not doing the foundational thing first. You have to build a solid foundation, and that could also be a reason, right, why it's not, you know,
yeah.
upright. So
Okay, the next one is light is light. That one, I'm not sure if it's not in the book. I wasn't sure. I researched in the book because it tells me something. Because I think I talked uh, to PT about that once, and I was bringing up the light beer, drinking the light of the
oh right.
sun. Because they tell you in the store they want to sell you beer, but light beer. It's like some is written even Light, and some Lite.
Right.
What light am I drinking here? So not so sure. It's probably the light of Lucifer, but
Right, right.
light is light. I'm not sure if it was not in the book, but I said worst comes to worst, we'll just redo it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
don't.
No, I don't think that it is. I would have to go back and double check, but yeah, uh, the truth is worth repeating. So even if we have done it before, then yes, it you know,
That's the whole thing is to repeat. So
yes, exactly. So we'll go with light is light.
yeah.
Light is light. There is a reason why the same word light, Light, is used to refer to both light as in light and dark and light as in light and heavy. Getting above psychological, emotional complications leads us into the light realms, away from pain and torture of the dense realms.
So la lumière est légère. Light is light. La lumière est légère. I guess that's how I would translate it. So, il y a une raison pour laquelle le même mot lumière est utilisé pour désigner à la fois la lumière au sens de clair et obscur et la légèreté au sens de léger et lourd. Surmonter les complications psychologiques et émotionnelles nous conduit dans les royaumes de la lumière, loin de la douleur et de la torture des royaumes denses. Yeah, definitely. You should aim for the light. It's the most. It's the moment in your life when you start seeing the light. You're gonna feel the most light. Really, really light in the sense of the weight. Like you're gonna lift a big weight off your shoulder because Babylon put weight on your shoulder, and it's really heavy weight. Trust me, that's heavy weight on your shoulder. So once you release that heavy weight of Babylon, you start to feel more light, definitely. Now we can't, for sure, there's always the devil that's going to start to trick you with the light. We're talking about the light of the divine here. And it sounds a lot better to walk towards the light than the darkness. But again, I heard something the other day, like when you cross over or when you die or something. What did I heard? Is it PT that was saying this? Or someone else? Anyway, you get to the point where you get to choose. Oh no, it's that man with the Ankitu on his forehead. He's dressed in black. You know, he makes all kinds of OSM. I invited him on the Truman Show too.
Oh.
I reached out to him, that man with the dark brown skin, and he has a little hat and the Hankitu here on the front.
Right.
And he speaks a lot of wisdom. Like I was like, ooh, what is that? And he was saying that when you get up there, there will be the light or there will be a path towards your ancestor. And that's how they trick you here with the light, thinking that once you get up there, you have to go towards the light. But going towards the light would probably bring you back here, where going towards your ancestor's route would bring you into another realm. That's a bit how he was explaining how they can be tricking us also with the light. So not to forget that there is evil forces in this world. If you don't think they exist, well, you haven't take a good look at yourself. So you will find it within yourself too. So it's very important to also have that good critical look on yourself and to realize you are in the dark. Like when you think you know it all and you have nothing to learn, you're in the dark, because that's not where you should be. You should be learning. You should be feeling very light too with life. Life should not be a burden to be alive and to do something with your life. A lot of people are stuck in place because they feel too heavy too. Life is very heavy on us.
Right.
Especially when we have nothing really to animate us inside, to like a dream or a goal. Or most people spend their days on couches watching TV. That's the goal of their day. Or to eat nonstop because they think that's what they have to do. Eat. Like we're so out of gear with what it is to be human. So sitting in front of a TV and eating constantly is not good for you. So that will make you feel heavy, and often the heaviness it's translated also into fat on your body. You become obese
Right.
when you have a lot of weight. Like I have weight to lose myself. No, I'm talking about here. It's not like I'm very skinny. I'm 240 pounds, 6 foot tall. I have weight to lose. Come on. I know it. That's why I'm on the bike often. I want to lose weight because I want to feel more light. But that's what, when have you looked at someone obese or fat and say, oh, he looks very godly?
Right.
Like I saw a guy at the grocery store. I'm not judging him. I'm not all in a bag of potato here. I told you I'm
Right.
weight to lose myself.
Yes.
When I see morbid obesity, that really make me question how can someone get there and how.
Yeah.
I don't know. You certainly have a huge, and that's the huge weight. After you keep accumulating it, and
Right.
you stuck the weight, and you become super obese. Like,
Yeah.
so when have you look at someone obese or fat and say that they look godly? They don't, because that's not what it is to be godly. Is to take care of your body.
Yeah.
Someone lean and in shape and capable to move his body is a lot more godly to me. When I see a nice dancer on stage doing all kinds of moves, or someone
Right.
that utilize their body in a very godly way and move, and like it's impressive, then we're all impressed by that. Rarely you're gonna put someone on stage fat and people will be like round of applause. No, I'm not judging people that are fat. Like I said, that's not the point. But the point is for us to realize that this weight has to go if you want to feel light one day. And the real light, first, take care of yourself, lose some weight. That's what we're talking about. Light is light. Light is not heavy. And when you're heavy, you're often toxic.
Yeah.
It's toxicity inside your body. So there's a problem of coherence here.
Yeah.
There's the problem of coherency. So you should really, anyway, me, that's how I process it. And that's how I try to inculcate in myself also.
Right.
That I need to be lighter. Like, come on. I don't want to. And that's really becoming a goal at one point, to lose weight and be more light and to have a new experience. Because don't forget, when you're 250 pounds or when you're 190 pounds, there's a big difference. And the experience of life is different.
Yeah.
You will move a lot more and you will do more. Anyway, you will feel more light, definitely.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
So, Frank, Tanya, light
Yes.
is
Light is light. This is a great thing PT is sharing here in terms of how there's like multiple things that are happening at the same time. There's metaphorical light, and there's like actually like light that we can actually see. And so actually, when we start to move toward a life that is going to be, in alignment with nature, in alignment with divine, there's a natural lightness that comes. When we work on centering ourselves, when we work on doing our meditations and starting to take the actions that are necessary for well-being, for and all these different activities that we do, connecting with nature, repeating mantric verses or phrases or affirmations for our well-being. These type of things start to awaken us and awaken, our spirits within us, that it feels good. This is nice. I'm starting to lift the burden of ignorance, to lift the burden of not knowing. If we didn't know, or if we knew, but we still chose to act against the knowledge of truth, then things start to get heavy, and that darkness, leads to all different, we could go in all the different directions, just like you've mentioned. We're not going to sit here and list all the different things in the grocery store that are gonna toxify your body. And in the same way,
No,
we're
no,
not going
no.
to.
And it's not only food. It could be drinks also. Like I was talking about food, but alcohol and all that stuff keeps you in the dark. Man.
It definitely does. Yeah, it makes it is to, in all of the tactics, the behaviors that are emphasized through the media and through the movies and music and everything like that, even the government and the politics these days, there's all sorts of incoherent uh, behaviors and lifestyles that are glorified, and that is to boggle the mind, that is to confuse everybody, and so that people don't actually start to get to what we're supposed to be doing here, because that's part of kind of the you know why is there so much bad and toxic food around? Because when you have a confused person, a confused being, it's much easier to deceive them and manipulate them and control them and basically be vampirical, parasitic upon their life force, because that is what is happening. That's the few at the top who are choosing to control through deception and through manipulation. They know they don't have a ticket to higher realms. They know that they can't get up there doing the life that they're doing, and so they've made it here just for this short time. But their tower is crumbling, and we're watching it crumble, and it's definitely something, because we all who have willingly, in a conscious or unconscious way, we've participated, we've chosen to like agree to all of their tricks, you know what I mean? But that's the thing, that they have, that they know what they're doing, but they're not telling us what's going to be the outcome of, okay, if you sign this paper, or if you take this medication, or if you just agree to go along with the fast food or whatever. They're not telling you, what is going to be the repercussions, either in your own life or to society and the world at large. But so if we want to actually, why do people seek, because often, we have like problems or things happen in our lives, or tragedies happen. And you often say this too, sometimes it takes a tragedy to kind of wake you up. And so why do people seek, something happens and we're like, I don't want like this hardship, whether it's pain or confusion or like health problems, or there's all different varieties of, hardships that we can face. But those things can lead people to actually seek, oh, I want to improve myself. Actually, I want to change myself for the better. There's got to be something, like I can look into the stars at night or to the waves in the ocean and know that there's this divine mystery that's alive. It's around me. It's inside of me somehow. And like, how do I, get into sync with like what I'm supposed to be doing? Because it feels like I can, not be making mistakes that are just like keeping me running loose in the maze and running into walls and stuff. And so when we actually, if people have the fortune to actually wake up and be like, okay, I want to change. I want to start, centering myself and doing all these things. And fortunately, PT is here and he's sharing a lot of this beautiful Vedic wisdom that first and foremost is really about how do you live life in a simple and a natural way, because that's going to, that's going to cut away a lot of the chains that are binding you to ignorance, darkness, the things that are heavy, even just that meat diet, you're connecting yourself to all sorts of like violence and unnecessary, things that like you don't have to do that to feed yourself. And so that's just one small example of, so if you decided to just like give it a try, like maybe I'll just try a vegetarian diet and try to eat some Vedic kind of meals or something like that. And you'll notice, with your emotions, your consciousness, your body, it feels better. It's lighter. It actually is operating better. You're not going to be as likely to run into bigger health problems down the road because you're not. And there's all sorts of things that we could go into about things, the problems that can come from a bad diet, or even like earlier we were talking about Babylon. I mean, you don't want to get into that habit of being so loose with your words and so unconscious of like what you're speaking that you're just going on speaking nonsense. I mean, there's consequences for that too. Just like people can become very gossipy, or people can you don't want to spread lies to everyone, because that's just emphasizing the confusion, really. So.
And the babbling, too much babbling can easily turn to verbal diarrhea, like
Yes.
big time. So
Exactly.
stop yourself before you get there.
Yes.
No, definitely. There's something with the light, but also like seeing the light. Like a lot of people will be like, seeing the light. It's just finding your way. It's, and
Mm-hmm.
finding your way is finding your way out of your stress and out
Yeah.
of your boredom hell. To
Right.
just give thanks and praise, like we said, PBS, praise,
Mhm.
bow, and serve. You should
Exactly.
focus on that. I focus on this every time I wake up, I open my eyes, is what can I do to serve today? Serve the divine my own way with
Yeah.
the stuff I'm doing, but we all have something to do. We all been gifted with something. It's just you have to dig sometime to find that gift. And your gift is not for you, it's for others. So even you know I heard that the other day, you can be depressed at home and just say one word to someone on the phone or on the internet here, and it's going to make their day, and they're suddenly going to see the light.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to, definitely, if you have light within yourself, spread it, spread the light of positivity, of change,
Yeah.
responsibility. All this should be something we all focus on, but
Yeah.
maybe we would have a better outcome. Now, I don't even think we should worry about the outcome if we're all aligned into that direction, because it cannot be anything but good. So now we have bad things happening because mostly collectively we're aligned towards the dark, not the light. So
Mm-hmm.
once we change all this, we steer the course of humanity and all go towards what's light and not heavy. And because it can be both, it can be really in both sense of the word, in heaviness and in for the light and for the heaviness, both. Because it's
Yeah.
really, really what it is. If you have a burden, if you walk heavy, you cannot say I see the light and walk super heavy in life and with all kinds of worries and problems and demands and complaining and stuff
Yeah.
and babbling, and that's not being light. No,
Mm-hmm.
being light is being in the moment. Also live in the moment, like
Yeah.
a dog lives. I think the dog is probably the only animal that fully live in the moment. I love dogs. I freaking love dogs big time. I
Yeah.
will never be without a dog,
Uh-huh.
and they're so divine. Me dogs is, I love them. So yeah, definitely, and it's they don't walk the earth heavy, like they walk light because they are in the moment. So
Mm-hmm.
once you can reach also the moment, this is big, because now you will get rid of fears and all kinds of stuff that doesn't make sense when you're walking towards the light. So
Yeah.
that's it. And you will start to lose weight, like I'm working on. It's a project. I'm
That's
working
it.
on it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And at my age, I don't want to use that as an excuse, but it's a bit harder.
Yeah.
But I am doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing the bike inside everything. So I
That's
don't
it.
eat like a pig like I used to. I used to eat constantly. And I thought that was the way, man, to eat and to eat. And today I realize that it's not the way to eat, and you should be fasting more than anyway. We're not gonna go into this. The next one is internet. That's a bit a long one, but not that long. I
Yeah.
think we can, definitely go on with the internet.
Yeah. This one's really
We'll
good.
finish with this one today.
Sounds good. Internet and internet. It is true that internet has made life easier through allowing easier access to goods, people, and information, but its limitations and downsides usually go unnoticed. There is also an etheric library of essential universal data through which all of biology functions and communicates. For convenience's sake, we will call it the internet. Our DNA is directly hardwired through this vast network, which actually stretches beyond our planet up to our sun and other suns, also known as stars, and other realms and dimensions. One major downside of the technonet is that it can and does interfere with the more important biologic internet. The internet allows only relevant information to reach an individual, while the internet provides all sorts of irrelevant data along with the relevant information. Inundation is the result of this excessive information bombardment on individuals who are not ready to sort and arrange this data. It is akin to pouring an ocean into a pond. Internet is a more sophisticated data transferring sharing system because it only allows access to data and info, also known as insight and knowledge, which an individual deserves and is ready for. Indulgence in internet is overriding the internet, creating a techno-Borg slave instead of a free biologic galactic being. Not all individuals on the planet have the requisite mental, psychological, and emotional preparation to arrange and sort, also termed discrimination, huge amounts of information provided by the internet. This excess overflow of information clogs up the internet channels, making them separate from the sea of life. It then does really become a net, which separates the fish from the sea of eternal consciousness.
Beautiful. Beautifully
Poetic.
explained.
PT is a great poet.
Beautifully explained.
Yeah.
In French now. Internet. I'm going to leave it the same. Il est vrai qu'Internet a simplifié la vie en facilitant l'accès aux biens, aux personnes et à l'information. Mais ses limites et ses inconvénients passent généralement inaperçus. Il existe également une bibliothèque éthérique de données universelles essentielles grâce à laquelle toute la vie biologique fonctionne et communique. Par commodité, nous l'appellerons le réseau intérieur. Notre ADN est directement intégré à ce vaste réseau qui s'étend au-delà de notre planète, jusqu'à notre Soleil et d'autres soleils aussi appelés étoiles et d'autres dimensions. Un inconvénient majeur du réseau technologique est qu'il peut interférer et interfère effectivement avec le réseau intérieur biologique bien plus important. Le réseau intérieur permet uniquement aux informations pertinentes de parvenir à un individu, tandis qu'Internet diffuse toutes sortes de données non pertinentes, en plus des informations pertinentes. L'inondation résulte de son bombardement excessif d'informations sur des individus incapables de trier et d'organiser ces données. C'est comme déverser un océan dans un étang. The ocean in a pound. C'est comme déverser un océan dans un étang. Le réseau. Le réseau intérieur est un système de partage et de transfert de données plus sophistiqué car il n'autorise l'accès qu'aux données, informations, également appelées connaissances et perspicacité, qu'un individu mérite et pour lesquelles il est prêt. This is big. I'm going to repeat that. Le réseau intérieur est un système de partage et de transfert de données plus sophistiqué, car il n'autorise l'accès qu'aux données, informations, également appelées connaissances et perspicacité, qu'un individu mérite et pour laquelle il est prêt. Se laisser aller à l'Internet est surplanter le réseau intérieur, créer un esclave technologique au lieu d'un être libre, biologique et galactique. Tous les individus sur la planète ne possèdent pas la préparation mentale, psychologique et émotionnelle nécessaire pour organiser, trier ou discriminer l'immense quantité d'informations fournies par Internet. Ce surplus d'informations sature les canaux du réseau intérieur, les coupant de l'océan de la vie. Il se transforme alors en un véritable filet qui sépare les poissons de l'océan de la conscience éternelle. Yeah, it's big, man. It's freaking big.
Yeah.
Big time. Look, God or the divine will not give you what you cannot handle and what you're not ready for. That's why you should not freak the fuck out with what you're doing or what you have to do. Or, like, I should stop saying freak the fuck out. The fuck, I have to stop saying that. I have to say another word because it's not nice, my wife said, when I say stuff like this. So I'm going to find another word than fuck. I don't like it. Me neither.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get the picture. You know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm French, so sometimes I might use some words in English just because I like how it sounds. I don't really know if it's good or not. Excuse my French. So anyway, so we shouldn't freak about what we got to do in our gift and stuff, and just keep working at it. Keep going at it, and you will get what you need in due time, in divine timing. It's not on your timing. And there's so much information out there on the internet that if you don't want to be literally scoop into the nonsense, you have to have a critical mind. You have to use scrutiny. And that only happens once you have reached that state of centering and you're capable to decipher the nonsense and the bullshit and all the stuff that is not relevant for your evolution. But if not, you go on the internet, you're going to consume all the nonsense, that freaking porn and all that stuff that doesn't help you at all. It's even more for your downfall. So I think there's both on the internet, there's a lot of good people spreading good knowledge, good positivity, like Truman. Yeah.
Exactly, right.
Truman and Frank. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So you got to be careful with the internet, definitely. I think it's clear to us also when he talks about the interior network. This is big because
super cool
because we're supposed to know. We're supposed to intrinsically know what to do here. You've just been programmed to program bamboozle, freaking transform into a fool, into a clown in Babylon, that you don't even know what to do no more. Like, that's the case for the majority. So if you end up on the internet and you don't even know what you're dealing with, well, there's a lot of stuff on there, and there's a lot of nonsense. There's a lot that has to do exactly just to keep you going in loop in that cult of oops. I often said it with Arthur, I think, came here, and we have called it out the cult of oops. But you're gonna hoop from cult to cult to cult until you really find a way to really look at this with scrutiny and decipher what's nonsense and what's not. And then you can maybe, but even to reach that state, like any there should not be anyone going on the internet really until they have really make sense of their existence and who they are, where they are, what they have to do here, and all this, and then maybe go on the internet. But what
Right.
we do, we put children on the internet these days. Like there's a lot of stuff on there.
I
There's a
know.
lot of nonsense, and I'm not just talking about. I'm talking about with the music also and everything, the movies, and you can find anything on the internet. We know that, so it's a huge ocean, definitely. But you can lose your notion into this vast ocean of information. If you lost your notion, well, you're into a notion. That's it. So yeah, no, I think it's pretty much what I have to say. It's yeah, fiche de l'océan de la conscience interne. Yeah, the internet, the net aspect of the internet too, and the
Yeah.
fish.
Mhm.
Definitely, we are in the Pisces age of Pisces. So, man, that's why also everything has to do with the Pope and his fish hat, and everything has, like everything's about the fish. Jesus, the fish. You have this. Sometimes
Right.
it's represented with a fish, and so we are in an era where we're talking a lot about fish. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
even Jesus is represented as a fisherman.
Hmm.
So now we have the internet, and what do you catch in the net? You catch fishes. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very fishy what's going on.
Hmm. Yeah.
Very fishy indeed. So Frank, tell me also the our DNA is really, I think, wired up big time to know what's real, and but we just have put a lid on it, a cover, because sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. Their fiction is less strange than the reality. Once you
Yeah.
open up your eyes and you really realize the real lies, you're gonna see it's stranger than their fiction.
Yeah.
So definitely, internet also keep them in the fiction that they love, with all the bombarded with nonsense. And I think people love that, because once you tell them the truth, they I don't think they would really be inclined to listen to it unless they aren't prepared for that work. Like probably get chosen for that great work. I don't know, but I feel like really that's my calling. Definitely coming here and speaking like this, and the
Yeah.
Truman Show and the music and stuff. Like I'm a good manager. So yeah,
Hmm.
like to
Yeah.
manage. So definitely you manage your also your interior network, your inside network. It's important that you manage this, not someone else. So often we give the manager job of our network inside to someone else, and then they will program it. If you don't program your own network, they will program it,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be so fun. The
No.
divine program is a lot more fun, and PT stuff and PT's learning, and focusing on stuff like this for me makes a lot more sense than sitting in front of the internet and consuming all kinds of nonsense.
Hmm.
But I've done it. I've done it. I've been there. I've recognized that wasn't supporting my evolution, so now I'm into something else. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
tell me, Frank, about the internet.
Yeah. This is a really beautiful piece of writing,
Yeah,
Plog from PT here. I mean, like we were mentioning as we concluded, PT is just so poetic, and he's really able to string words together in a very meaningful way.
yeah,
Um, and it's very true here what we're seeing. And you were mentioning that this age of Pisces, and we're
yeah,
in this transition now. We've transitioned from the
yeah,
Piscean era into the age of Aquarius, and that is part of like the technology explosion, and like PT has talked about, really ever since there was like radio waves and like invisible airwaves that we were having lots of like radio communications and stuff like that. He said that was really the beginning of the Aquarian energies starting to come, but it is so true that this bit, like you had mentioned in the end, the internet, the one that has, there's some songs that I've heard that, just relay like the excessive overload of information. And it's like, I can't remember how there's this one silly song. It's like, are you ready for too much of everything all at once? It said something like that, like, here, have everything, have excess amounts of it, have it all the time, have it right now, have too much of it and that's what the internet can do. Yeah, right. And so that really can be a trap, and that can be a net that actually traps you into a downfall or bad behaviors or things like that, because there's just as much as there is good things that we can find on the internet, like PT's writings, his blogs and things like that. Truman and other channels which we can find some
there is a lot of good people.
True.
Ralph Smart, I like Ralph, great man.
Yeah, so there's some good things, but then there's and it is reflective of the consciousness of and the times that we're in. The majority of things are it's a lot of nonsensical things, just like we were talking about with the earlier Plog, Babylon. Like, never have so many words been used to mean so little. Never has so much energy gone into producing media and videos and all that kind of stuff that has nothing to do with how do we center ourselves. Can we give some respect to nature? Can we give some props and some big ups to like the sun right now and the moon and the air that we're breathing? Like, let's celebrate, let's put some positive gratitudes out there for these elements that we're made of and that is sustaining us each and every day. So if a lot of the energy of the content of the media and everything like that and the the things that people are sharing was more about like having an awareness of this and that would be a more evolving use for people being able to connect in their evolution through, all over the world. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, the internet, in terms of, like PT said, he says, it is true that it's made life easier through allowing easier access to goods, people, and information. But there are limitations, right? And I love that he points out that the internet, I mean, we get to see movies every night without a computer, without a TV, without anything. It is in behind closed eyelids. We have a connection to a divine internet and a divine ether cord that plugs us in. Looked like you were going to say something.
And instead of watching a movie, why don't you exactly think of making your own movie? Instead of just sitting in front of the TV and watching a movie, why don't you think of making one? Use your thinking and bring something that helps people evolve in a movie. Like, I get it. You don't get beside people and start shaking them hard to wake them up. Sometimes it's going to come in clues in movies and music, in magazines, whatever. But make sure that what you do and that the divine is at the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that if you make a movie, that the divine is at the center of your work, and then you go and give clues in that movie to certain stuff, because often people will not, especially if it's not a tragedy that wake you up, or a illness or something tragic happening to you, that shake you out of your fiction life. And then you start to reach something more real. Definitely, look, the internet is a great tool. But we got to be aware of where we're going with this. Also, definitely.
Yeah. And like that, you just have so many cool little one-liners in here. Like he says, and you repeated it as you were reading the French version, but it's akin to pouring an ocean into a pond. excessive information bombardment. Are you ready for too much of everything all at once? Like,
And that's
it
what it's going to
really,
be.
it really is like that. So it's really super fun to hear PT's words and just like how he can describe things so in such a kind of comedic and creative way, of hearing what he's saying here. And just like he says, not all individuals have the requisite mental, psychological, and emotional preparation to basically have the discipline to not let yourself get sucked into it. Even, I mean, I'm not sure the validity of a lot of things I hear these days, but I heard interviews about, the creators of Facebook and the creators of these different social media things who said they made them so that people would become addicted to them. Yeah. They made them so that people would have a hard time not being on it. And it is very much a distraction, but that is also a test of, all right, we need to learn about what life is about, work on becoming established in that in a disciplined way, and then we can utilize these technologies, even if there's all sorts of nonsense. We just have to be firm in our discipline, and we have to have the boundary, know when we need to turn it off, know when we need to say, no, I'm not going to look at that, or I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, or all sorts of different things,
I don't know. Like, you want to make games or something or stuff, make sure in your video game there's a big banner on top. Don't forget your centering, mid station, whatever.
Right.
I don't know, something like I said. Make sure you have the Almighty, the Divine at the center of your work. And as PT said, it's gonna come naturally. All that stuff for you, for me, for anyone. It's written inside.
Yes.
You just have been rewired and reprogrammed in a way that you have forgotten all this. But it's there. Anybody can access it. We're all humans. So
exactly.
Shouldn't be that hard to dig in. Like, it's just because you're scared to know what you're gonna find. Right. And then you can turn back time, so you can turn back. So once your mind has stretched to a certain dimension, you're never gonna go back. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna go back to my old self. Never. I can't. And that's what it does also. Like, once you start really being in touch with that inside network, is you're going to make yourself stronger each and every day. And never going to stop.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So that's
these are two great dichotomy, between the internet and the internet, because divine, we are all connected to this, the etheric net, the cords that connect our life force, to the environment and to divine. That comes, and it's always been here since before the internet, and the internet can be used in a positive way, but as goes along with the nature of society and everything that's happening today, there's just lots of nonsense. So keep our focus on divine. You use the internet for something positive. That's good. Yeah. People need channels and outlets to go to actually find meaningful things. There's not enough of it. We need more of meaningful things.
Look, aspire to inspire before you expire. Why not? So that's what I'm aspiring to inspire. And that's how you can hope to inspire others. You're not going to change them. You're not going to. But if you can give them the breath of life and go on with their life with that, yes, for sure, I want to inspire others. That's the whole thing. Like, that's why I made the dub plates. I'm here. It's to inspire. I'm going to expire one day. We're all going to die. You think I care what people think of me? That's the fear that block most of us. And that's what you have problem getting over, is the fear of what others are going to think of you. But guess what? We're all going to be dead. Why should I care? Like, we're all going to die. Like, all of us, we're all going to be gone one day. What we freak about what? That's it. So no more fear. That's for sure. Fear has to be a real fear for me to be afraid. Definitely. Not coming on the internet and speaking positivity that you should be afraid. Definitely. So Frank, you want to add something else before we?
Just grateful to be continuing our, review and study on PT's works. There's so much knowledge and wisdom, and so many different ways of saying the same thing, really, which is, continue to work on centering ourselves. I mean, this is the work of a lifetime. This is the work for each of us, for our lives. And so we keep coming back to the center, keep putting our eyes on the prize, focus on our evolution. And so grateful that, PT can share so much. He's really generous with all the things that he puts out there.
Yeah, and the more you focus on that alignment, that the less you will be distracted. And the devil's in the distractions, in the details, the distraction, what takes you out of your focus on being a better person and feeling better. First of all, you're going to feel better if you're light on the side of the light than in the dark. Mm-hmm. So it's all about how you feel at the end of the day. Like, what happened here today? It's how I feel. I feel freaking great, bro. I feel freaking great coming here with you and doing this. Yeah, I feel very, very centered, and I'm getting there. I'll keep working on myself.
That's it.
It's better than be distracted, definitely. So, large up, Frank. Large up, everyone in the chat. There wasn't nobody, but doesn't matter. Bless up, everyone.
We'll be forward again, right? Monday.
Yes. Backward never, forward ever. Yeah. Forward trot. Truman is on a forward trot. We're out.
Yes.
See ya.
Peace.
We're out.